Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney. It is Wednesday afternoon, and there you see outside Acacia. We had a little rain over the evening and a little this morning, but it's looking pretty nice right now.
That's right, and as a result, we'll have races 2 and 3 off the turf. The rest of the card is still on as of now, and the turf is listed as good. But as you can see, sun is out now. Beautiful day looking here in South Florida. Beautiful day in South Florida, as Ron would say.
Beautiful day in South Florida. I know it just turned around, so we got that little bit of rain. 2 and 3 were off the turf, but that doesn't affect the great racing we have this afternoon. We got a couple of really nice carryovers.
That's right, we do. We have a lot to look forward to. It's Wednesday. We're kicking off the racing week. We have a carryover starting in race number 1 with the Super High Five, which also kicks off the early pick 5. Of course, that Super High Five wager offered in any race with 7 or more runners. And Ron, the big story though today, the Rainbow Six, 20 cents could get you $1 million.
Yeah, the jackpot guaranteed at one. And all those zeros, the 6 zeros is awful. I was going to count them, but we don't have
There's a
that
couple
much.
commas in there,
Couple
too.
of commas in there, but 0, 0, 0, comma. $1 million is what we're trying to say. So this show, a little bit of a work in progress with those 2 races coming off the turf. Just before we came on the air, there has been no scratches yet. I'm looking at the early daily doubles. Looks like everybody is in the race, in race number 2. That is one of the races coming off the turf. But we have our first race, 5.5 furlongs. Maiden claim is 3-year-olds, 12.5 to 10.5. And Acacia's got a ticket she wants to show you. Early pick 5 ticket.
I do. No singles in here. I went too deep in the opener, though. Even money early on the number 6 Alaskan. First off the claim for Gilberto Zerpa. I backed myself up with the first-time starter. I'm too deep in race number 2 as well. Same kind of thing. I have a firster and one with experience, just not really knowing what we're going to get with that coming off the turf. Same thing. Race number 3 is off the turf. No scratches as of yet. I just left my picks as it was, but I ended up going 4 deep as a result there. 2 deep there in the 4th and 2 in the 5th as well. Of course, that race number 5 and a nice one does also kick off our Rainbow Six.
Yeah, the Rainbow Six starting in race number 5 with the 10 race card. So first race this afternoon. Well, we'll start it off with the horse that I think you believe you have on top of the ticket. It's the number 6 Alaskan, who's changing barns today, and that is going to the Gilberto Zerpa barn after the claim. And you found a fantastic stat.
I did. We'll show you that stat right now. First off the claim, going from turf to dirt. It's a small sample size, but I think a very telling one for sure. And this is over the past 5 years. 4 for 6 winning and 5 for 6 in the money. So that was one of those kinds of things that you couldn't not show it. And obviously it's been a big ROI. You've had some big prices in there. This horse will not be a big price. And you also have a Rat Ortiz up. So obviously a big reason why this one's going to take a lot of money, but certainly a big stat there.
Yeah, and you don't usually see him claim and then going from turf to dirt. He usually claims horses and brings them back on the main track. So great stat there, 4 to 5 on the board. I went to the outside with the number 11 horse in here. This one now will break from post number 9. We have 2 scratches in this race. Turns back to 3/4 of a mile. Last time the horse broke from post 12, he finished third against similar quality. That was going 6.5 furlongs. I just thought I'd take a little bit of a shot with this horse. I had other horses on top. I moved into this one with the number 11 Mozano and Jack Beanstalk in second for our buddy Norm Cassie.
It's a fun name to say for sure as well. And this one has a solid last out race on the main track. I used a first-time starter, the 5 Storm the Bridge for Rohan Crichton, who does have Tyler Gaffley on board.
Well, we'll go to race number 2 this afternoon, originally scheduled for 5 furlongs on the turf, now to be run on the main track. And you see the main track is listed as fast. These are state-bred fillies, 3-year-olds. And I really like the performance of Bucky's Drama last time, albeit on the turf course. This one's debuting locally after a pair of really solid turf efforts up at Tampa. I looked at the last race. The horse finished second, but she was up there disputing really fast fractions of like 20 and 3, and I thought she did okay to run second.
Yeah, the race was very fast at Tampa last time out. So she has 2 good second-place finishes in her last couple of starts. She had 1 race on the main track. That was in her debut, where it was taken off of the turf here at Gulfstream, and she was well beaten. Also a big price that day, too. So I'm not really quite sure what we're going to get to see from her, though it is a 6-horse field. Again, I just kind of left my picks as it was. I've got a first-time starter in No Nina. I don't know. Is she going to like the main track? Obviously, turf meant in this spot. One who actually does have an okay main track race is the one Kayla's tuned towards the start of her career, though it was a wet track. She actually ran okay back in August on the main here at Gulfstream.
Yeah, no need of the three you have on top. You take a couple of nice works on the main track up at Payson Park, so maybe that'll translate to a good performance here, staying on the dirt. Race number 3 this afternoon, another one that was taken off the turf, now to be running a one-turn mile on the main track. These are starter optional claimers, 3-year-olds, $50,000 less, or the optional claiming price of $50,000. And as you did, I kept my selections here, and actually going to show you a race now. It was on the turf last time out. It's the number 6 horse today, Bad Beat Brian. But this horse was so great game. We're going to pick it up at the top of the stretch, and you're going to just see this horse coming down, and then you see Bad Beat Brian, the number 1, was 3-1 that afternoon, and moving along. But watch what the 8 horse does to this. Boom, bumps it once, and then comes back and says, hey, wait, did you just do that? Yeah. I'm going to do it again. Boink, bumps him again. Still manages to win. So let's see if that horse can translate that onto the major.
I liked the sound effects. I felt like I was in like an old comic movie or something, like boom, pow.
Gotta get that, and that's why I kept this horse on top of my ticket.
I hear you. I think I agree with you. I liked Bad Beat Brian's performance last time, and just a little nugget as well. Kieran McLaughlin had told me this is actually sources named for a very active horse player, Brian, that the barn knew well, who passed away. So obviously, this horse is carrying on his legacy and a nice win last time out for the barn. So I agree with you. I used the number 4 Dyna Drive, who's exclusively run on the turf, but first off the claim for Mike Maker. So we'll see what we get with that one. And Danzig Dunhill got loose behind the gate on February 28th, was caught by the outrider. Now we get to see him back in, and we'll see who gets to run the race this time.
Yeah, and he ran against the bias last time out. They would do a good bias on the turf course for George Weaver. So George is having a fantastic meeting. He's winning races like at a 36% rate, so that's pretty darn good. Well, we'll go to race number 4 this afternoon, a 6 furlong sprint. These are maiden claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, 25 down to $20,000. And number 6, Cozy Dreams, looks like a logical one in here, who's dropping to the 25 level. First start since facing maiden special weight runners in a trio of sprints before the layoff. I know you have a stat on Mr. Scott Becker.
Yes, we do. Dropping in class for maiden special weight 2, maiden claiming in dirt sprints exclusively. So some really crazy numbers there, some really big percentages and a good sample size as well, plus a positive ROI, just under 50% in the win column and 63% in the money. So big numbers there, and this horse actually ran very well in his first 2 starts against state-bred special weight competition. Wide, not a good performance in a very tough field last time out. So I think the drop looks warranted. I think that this is a good spot for this filly by Cozy, and I did take a first-time starter for Stanley Huff in the number 4 Proprioception, which is I'll be honest, I didn't know. It's the awareness of the movement of the body, or awareness of position of the body. So kind of an interesting name there as well.
Asked me, I knew it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't know it.
Okay, very
But
good.
very good. But I used Irish Thunder on the ticket. His wheeling back responded really last time to the turn back in distance with a 3rd place finish. Was the favorite that day at this level in distance. The most experienced runner in the field, and you get an Irad Ortiz Jr. I think you got to put that one somewhere on your ticket.
And has some speed as well. Has been forwardly placed in some of the recent starts too.
Well, that was race number 4, so we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket, and we'll also tell you about the Stronach 5.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground ball first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. We're on an Acacia. We're going to start our fifth race with a 1 mile turf event. Maiden claim is 4-year-olds. But before that, want to show you what we have in store on Friday with the Stronach 5. And last week it paid $31,000.
Pretty crazy. You start in Maryland. We have races 7 and 8 there from Laurel Park just a little bit before 4:30. The bet does begin. Then we have 2 from Gulfstream in the mix as well, 1 from Golden Gate. So should be a lot of fun. With this sequence, always that $1 minimum, low takeout. We hope that you'll take part once again.
Yeah, those races 9 and 10 from Gulfstream Park are really nice turf races, so that adds to the intrigue of putting a ticket together. And as Acacia mentioned, always a $100,000 guarantee. So with that said, let's look at my pick 6 ticket, Rainbow Pick 6 ticket. Here it is. I forgot what it was, $64.80. I went 3 deep in here. I know you went 2 deep in here. I went with the 2, 3, and 4, the 4 being Mr. Chubby. And then we're going to try and get through this without her laughing.
Not my fault.
The 1 Samoa taken down last time and put second, put up. 7th race. My long shot today, a little bit of a long shot, 6-1. I'm the captain now, and you see the rest of the progression there. She's keeping me laughing here all the time. Now, what is so funny about Sir Chubby?
I like Sir Chubby. It's my top pick as well.
Well, this one is sitting on a winning performance. We're talking about the 4 horse, we'll call it from now. Returned from an 11-month layoff. With blinkers added and finished third at this level of distance, our buddy Tom Bush, and he's got Javier Castellano. Lots to like with that horse in there with the number 4, Sir Chubby. And Tom doesn't start a lot of horses here, but boy, does he do an incredible job.
Absolutely does. He really does seem to get a lot out of his runners, and sometimes you can get him at a good price. I don't know about this one potentially being much of a price in this spot because I actually thought that was a really good building block race last time. It was about an 11-month layoff. It was a long layoff that he was coming back off of too, and his first time dropping in for a maiden claiming tag after exclusively facing special weight company, also added the blinker. So it was a lot going on last time. I thought it was a big performance, has some tactical speed. And with Javier Castellano aboard today, just kind of looks like this is go time. Though the North Remembers ran a very good race last time. Dom Scatino's another one whose barn has been having a good meet, and a couple of next out winners from that race.
Yeah, a couple of next out winners. And you're absolutely right. Dom having a really good meet. So if you look at these 2 horses, a lot of people will say the 3, the North Remembers, is the one to beat in here. But I think Sir Chubby, as Acacia mentioned, is going to have a good race today. Number 2, Boss Life, is the son of a street boss, debuting for Dale Romans after showing some late interest. Went 6th in its maiden special weight debut, going 5 in the slop at Churchill Downs. This is the morning line favorite.
Interesting.
I got it on the ticket. Yeah. But I got to see a race from this horse. Not that I'm leaving it off the ticket.
I agree. Well, obviously, off of a layoff, dropping in class, first-time turf, it certainly could be a formula that works in here for sure. But just with all of those changes and taking the drop in the second start, it's kind of like you want to be maybe a little bit cautious in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, you use them on your ticket, especially if you think the horse can run well and you put it on your Rainbow 6 ticket. 6th race this afternoon, 1 mile claim of fillies and mares, 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. And this is where our late pick 5 starts, and Acacia's going to show you her ticket.
I will. I am using 3 horses here in race number 6, including Samoa that Ron mentioned already, who was taken down last time, ran a good race. I've got the Chad Brown runner, Gambler's Fallacy, and I'm the captain now is actually my top pick as well in race number 7. So we like the same price source, I guess. 3 deep in the 8th race, and we have some interesting races a little bit later on in the 9th and 10th. I've got 2 deep there in the 9th and 10th race. I like a bit of a price as well. Princesa Cristal is my long shot today for Amador Sanchez and Hector Barrios in the finale, though the Todd Pletcher drop down Aerodynamic will probably be the one to take most of the money.
Yeah, I use both of those on my ticket too. So getting back to race number 6 with Samoa, as we mentioned, looking to make amends, set the pace, drifted out in the stretch. We'll show you that performance last time out. And this horse was pretty game. And you know, you'll see the performance. Samoa is the number 4 this day. We'll kick it off there. And just comes in the stretch and was really much the best in there. Just started to drift out a little bit. And you'll see it momentarily come up. And that was the cause for the takedown. Put
Right
second a couple of times. Just came out a little bit and comes back. Even money today on the board. Just got to keep that straight course. It's Juan Alvarado, Edgar Zayas in the saddle again. So you can't blame it on Edgar. He's right back in the saddle again today.
Yeah, and it's tough. I don't know if there was going to be a situation where Kaylani would have passed Samoa there, but you certainly do see a show of cutting off the momentum for that horse and taking away any possible chance, and so thus the reason for a DQ. So Samoa back in it, does have speed as well, and I thought the 3 Looking for More, who finished third behind those 2 in that race as well.
Yeah, it looks like he keeps the status quo. He's got, just runs very well in there. I thought that was in Southern Toddy, making a usually fruitful third start back from a layup, duel for the lead, fading in the stretch. It's Armando de la Cerda, and you get Maciel Jaramillo in the saddle again. So thought those were the logical 3, and that's the 3 we both used on our tickets. You on your late pick 5 and me and my Rainbow 6. Race number 7, a mile and a 16th on the turf. Claimers 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life. And we both have the number 7 in horse in here. I'm the captain now, so I don't think I'm going to get the price I thought I was going to get.
Maybe not. Well, I thought that this one, obviously, it was a long layoff last time for Barkley Tag, now coming back. And it's been a little bit of a freshening now, too. Hasn't run since January 1st, and it is, of course, at the beginning of March now. So it's been a couple months since we've seen this horse. But coming back relatively soon versus the layoff that he had last time out from February 2019 to January 2020, and it was against tougher competition. So I think the drop today too.
I thought the reason we might get a little bit of a price because of the 2-horse gamblers fallacy being in. It was going back to the turf for trainer Chad Brown after ending its 2009 campaign. Poor showing on the main track, but Chad, this is his angle. He's over 25% with the dirt to turf angle. He's got Javier Castellano. I'm expecting this horse to run well, and when people see Chad Brown, they sort of like run to the window.
I would certainly think so. Has been freshened up since the end of December too. That race was on the dirt, but a productive race with 2 next out winners. And it's interesting as this horse has been exclusively running against New York State Bred Company. So this is now open company as well. So we'll see what we get in this spot.
I got one from Kelly Breen I just wanted to touch on real quickly. This one, Solar, the number 1, is stepping up to the next level. Really drew clear to defeat those 2 lifetime claimers going a mile. It's Kelly Breen. He's got Maciel Jaramillo handling the stretch out to 8.5 furlongs. I think this one might have something to do with the pace this afternoon. So we'll see how the number 1 Solar runs in there. Now we'll go to race number 8 of our 10-race card, and this is a 5-furlong turf event. Allowance optional claimers, state breds, 3-year-olds, and they can run for that optional tag of $20,000. And you went with the 6 in here. I did not use the number 6.
I did. Taking a little bit of a shot with the 6 Flash Pass, who I almost made my long shot, but I thought with Irad Ortiz aboard, even if he's kind of an outsider, he's not going to be a huge price no matter what. But this is one trying the turf for the first time. He broke his maiden by 12. Then was claimed and went right into the swale. And this is a horse, I'm not sure what happened behind the scenes, but after being claimed away from Armando de la Cerda in the first start, he's now back in Armando's barn, and Armando's putting him on the turf. The dam won on the turf. He's by gemologist. 3 siblings have won on the turf, including stakes winner My Miss Venezuela. So I'm going to take a shot with this one.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting angle there, especially, but you're right, we're not ran in there. They're going to bet that horse. I did go with the number 8 who you have in second, Cucina. This one now in the Bill Mott barn. This one, a son of Northern Fleet, drops into this state-bred optional claimer. Face stakes competition in the final 3 races of his freshman campaign. So they thought a lot of this horse coming back with Johnny Velasquez in the saddle today. I thought maybe this would be the right one in there.
And it's interesting. This is the same owner. Donald Disney has had him the whole time. And I spoke to Don right before the Sanford, and they said, we think he's a little bit more of a turf horse, but we're going to give it a try. You have a horse that looks promising as a 2-year-old. You give it a try on the dirt. They put him on the turf. He ran well in Stakes Company sprinting at Woodbine. It was a no-go in the Grade 1 summer. Obviously, tough competition and a longer distance. So I think turf sprint is really where it's at for this horse.
Well, you know much more about breeding than me, but I thought the number 5 horse in your Dancing Destroyer is bred to love sprinting on the grass. Moves to the turf. Pair of strong sprints on the dirt. It's Norm Cassie. He's got Julian Leperoux handling the surface, which looks like this one has some really nice turf breeding. Couple of sharp races against state-bred competition on the dirt.
Yeah, it certainly has been. The last 2 races were very good, sprinting on the dirt. It is curious to see that they've been so good and now a switch to turf, but does have some good works at the Palm Meadows turf course. I had nothing against this filly. I just liked a couple of others better, and it is a filly. In fact, there's a couple fillies in here facing the boys between Dancing Destroyer and the 7 Freezer Burn as well, so we'll see how she does fare trying the turf for the first time.
What a name for a horse, Freezer Burn. Still, every time I see it, I can't. Well, whatever. Ninth race, 6 furlongs, starter optional claim with 3-year-olds, 50 or less, so the optional claiming price of $50,000. Number 2, Gemmo, turning back to 6 furlongs today on the dirt, returned from that freshening to press the pace, fade. That was against 50 claimers going a 2-turn mile on the turf. Rowan Crichton's pretty good with horses going turf to dirt.
And look who he faced 2 starts back at Tay Indian, who became the Fountain of Youth winner, and he finished 4th behind that horse, who obviously won by open lengths. And I do think that this one has a lot of speed. There were a couple of scratches in here, and some main pace scratches, in fact, in this race, too. And that really could aid Gemmo quite a bit. I thought that this was a logical spot for him, and we'll see if Ricky Ticky Taffy, who at such a short price last time was very disappointing, we'll see if he can redeem himself.
Well, 2 back, he was pretty good at the distance. He had that second place. Then he, in the $75,000 limestone, $75,000 limestone. And then he comes back, and he's the odds-on choice going 7. Not that good. A little more sound effects for you. I added, after the scratches, I added Maserati, man. I don't know what to do with it. So he's making his first start. He broke his maiden impressively against those 50 maidens going 4.5 furlongs way back in August as a 2-year-old. But it's Mike Yates, and he's got the gelding training consistently.
He has been. The works here at the over the Gulfstream main track have been very, very sharp, and that was a huge performance from him. I'm wondering if we're going to see Beyond Gone kind of get back on track after he's been facing some tough company as well.
Well, we're going to wrap it up with a turf race in race number 10, a mile in the 16th. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, $16,000 down to $14,000. I did go with the 7 Aerodynamic, who's dropping to the 16 level after returning from the layoff for Todd Pletcher, finished third against 40 maidens. The daughter Venezaro is surely to be the odds-on choice in here, but I read it'll be in the saddle today. But boy, that drop is a little shaky.
Yeah, it's tough because it's interesting. This horse, she ran solidly in her debut at Gulfstream Park West in Maiden Special Weight Company. You can kind of make a case for it. Okay, she's been on the bench for a little while. It's the championship meet now. Dropping in for 40. That's a drop you can understand. But now, after a relatively solid 3rd place finish last time, she certainly had nothing to be embarrassed by about that performance, all the way down to the 16,000. It is kind of a precipitous drop, so I was kind of looking for an alternative, and I landed on Princessa Cristal, whom I don't love that she's 0 for 10 already, but last couple of races have been good, particularly last time where she took the lead and just got caught beating a neck, so maybe this is the right spot.
Yeah, I put her in second for all the reasons you mentioned, and, Amador Sanchez, boy, that barn is doing really good, and he's got his go-to rider, Hector Barrios, in the saddle, so we'll see how that horse runs there. I don't know what kind of price you're going to get. I also there's the 3 in here, Funny Feather, who's a late striding type, comes off back-to-back 4th place finishes, looking to grab a share. You get Louis Sayers in the saddle today. We got tries, we got supers, we got super high fives. I think this horse is somewhere on the ticket.
I agree with you. I had him in 3rd as well, or her in 3rd, excuse me. Seeing Louis Sayers take the call always, I think, something notable.
Well, we're about to get going here at Gulfstream Park. As we mentioned, we have the main track fast, the turf good, but races 2 and 3 have been taken off the turf. You ready to go to work?
I'm ready. Pete Aiello coming up next with Scratches and Changes.